Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today it's going to be a MidRank Madness game sent to Snipermonkey at the email address in the description. He's not getting very many of these, so if you want me to cast your replay and you are gold, platinum, or diamond, now is a good time to send it into Snipermonkey, and maybe I will cast it. The odds have never been higher. Alright, so bottom right hand corner here on Deathaura, we have the red Terran player, PawnForTobi. And in the top left, it is the blue, with the Brood War Nexus skin, Protoss player, Alchemy. Wow, I don't think I've seen this. I don't think I've seen people rolling with this. I've seen a lot. This is just like normal now, right? The Brood War Terran Command Center skin is very popular, but not so much on the Protoss side of things. I've also seen the Zerg hatch quite a bit. All right, so we're gonna proxy barracks this thing to get this thing started from PawnForTobi. Gonna be interesting stuff for sure. Probe checking around trying to see where is your barracks. Are you going Command Center first? What is happening, and this is why worker scouting is so nice for Protoss and why we need to see more of it from other players. I know droning players and Zerg players, sending a drone across the map is going to hurt you immensely. I understand that, but at this level, at MidRank Madness, I promise you it's not. It's not going to be the difference between you and losing the game. So go scout. Scout, work on your macro back home, improve your macro 20%, and you can afford to lose that early worker mining time from that one drone. So double gate opening here from Alchemy, also getting gas in response to whatever the craziness that is happening here from PawnForTobi. I'd like to see maybe the probe sneak up in the main and see what's going on, right? No barracks plus double gas is really interesting stuff. We do have a Reaper on the way. Reaper's name is Falcon Paladin. It's another Falcon Paladin Reaper. He was a military analyst for the Dominion, looking over a great many of the engagements unfolding all along the Kapurlu sector between all three races. As all up-and-coming military personnel, Falcon was eventually noticed by his higher-ups and was scheduled for evaluation. During the screening, however, he made a great many mistakes, missing entire battle-changing engagements. Uh-oh, I don't like where this is going. Looking frantically for units that are right in the middle of his screen and complaining about Dominion generals not building specific production facilities, while said facilities were clearly being displayed on the production tab. Whew, I'm hurt. Seeing how his abilities are obviously better served elsewhere, he was sent to the Reaper program so he would have better served mankind. He never stopped commentating, even in the heat of battle, while doing his darndest to avoid being chopped up by Zerglings and shot down by stalkers. As he wasn't there, actually, probes killed him. Such a brave boy. Alright, well, one probe died there. Proxy Reaper did more than your average Reaper does, if we're going to be honest. Another Reaper comes in. And that's why you're making a stalker here. I mean, there's actually already a stalker here. So what got the kill? Did a probe get the kill on that Reaper? Another probe goes down. Hi-yah! Alright, so meanwhile, back in Terranville, he's got a factory, a starport, and a second command center coming up. So very, very strange opening for sure here. Proxy Reaper into the 1-1-1 while expanding inside his own main base. And an Alchemy should probably expand at this point. It's not some kind of crazy all-in proxy at all. Go for the expansion. I understand you really don't have much vision. There you go, going up the ramp. And you can see, you can see the command center being built. That's so good. See, now you know there's an expansion coming up for the Terran. You can expand yourself safely without dying. And that's really fantastic news. So there's a Cyclone coming in. Ooh, getting magfield accelerators instantly. Really been seeing a ton of Cyclone play on the channel recently, so that's nice that we're getting some here. Also, I've got a slightly edited channel trailer, which has a better GG at the end, which I think people have been asking for. So, yeah, I guess to see it, just log into YouTube as not logged into your channel. Okay, so go to my channel, not logged into your account, and then you can see it like new people will see the channel, and the channel trailer will be there. Okay, got it figured out. All right, so, I mean, Cyclone play pretty darn good against Protoss in the early stages of the game for sure. You can do stuff like kite stalkers, like this, and actually get a kill there. Oh, gets a kill there. Very well played, Mr. Cyclone, sir. That was awesome. That was actually very, very good. Meanwhile, this barracks are just floating here, raining sparks upon the ground here on Deathaura. And there's a Liberator. The problem is there are 5 stalkers. So that's probably not going to get a whole lot done. Nice pull. Very nice probe pull. Oh, and then actually forcing the Liberator to get out of there without getting any shots off on the stalkers. Oh, then he comes back in, or she comes back in a little bit. Trying to find an angle where she can get damage done and not die, but guess what? There's nothing to kill there. This is a pretty well-produced map for Liberator's spotting up purposes. Alright, so natural base here is done. And again, this is something Alchemy is aware of. Alchemy needs to expand or needs to attack. These are the two options in the book right now. And, well, not really doing either. Really just kind of sitting at home because this Liberator is incredibly annoying. I got this Liberator just slowly inching closer and closer and closer to this mineral line. And then pulling back. And it's a lot of lost mining time for Alchemy here. That's a lot of probes that got pulled off. Charge is almost done. I'm surprised it's charge instead of blink. Usually Protoss players will get charge, or blink first rather. Especially for aggressive purposes against Terran. But here we go. Moving out with a few Cyclones. Charge lot's going to do pretty good here. Right? And again, if you have blink, you can do really well. Ah, the charge lot's getting on top of one Cyclone and killing it. Very nicely done. Look at this Zealot. He can keep up. Oh my gosh. He keeps up and gets a hit off. He's faster than these Cyclones. Man, Zealots with speed are zippy boys. Extremely, extremely fast. And good kiting. I mean, you're doing damage while you're running, so eventually the Zealot will die before he catches up to you sometimes. But yeah, Alchemy needs an expansion. He left a couple Stalkers at home. Looks like that might have, taken out the Liberator. As, you know, trying to micro in two places at once is pretty difficult for most players. Even professionals, that could be a hard thing to pull off. So yeah, look at this. Natural base running. 32 to 20 workers. Oh wait, I should swap this actually. PawnForTobi here on the bottom is at 32 workers. Alchemy's at 20. And still real no signs of expanding. Oh, he's got a forward pylon for warping in purposes. So maybe, okay, maybe we're going to try to put some pressure on. Force field tries to trap a Cyclone, but one force field on its own is not really going to do that in this situation. And yeah, man, Cyclones are so annoying. I feel ya, Alchemy. I really do. As a Zerg player, Racecar mech is so stupid frustrating to deal with. Yeah, you just lock on and you run. It's like the easiest kiting a Terran player will ever do. Oh, man, two Zealots are going to die here before they... Oh, one Zealot dies before the warp in. Baiting him into the Liberator here. Liberator does go down eventually. A little bit of pressure here at the front. Another Cyclone comes out. The chasing and the kiting is so good. How many Zealots have died today to Cyclones? 8 Zealots have died, but this Zealot getting his revenge. Here in the mineral line, doing some really nice work against these SCVs. Stalkers do take down the Liberator, defending with defensive mode, which doesn't happen a lot. This Zealot has 6 kills and 1 HP. He is a hero among Protoss today. I mean, he's very flimsy, but you know what? Nobody's directly attacking him at the moment. So the natural base is dead. Alchemy still hasn't expanded. I would have really loved to see Alchemy expand, like, I don't know, right now. But shutting down this natural base is nice. I don't know that you have the ability to get up this ramp and kill the Terran player with the current composition that we're dealing with. Wow, just pumping out Widow Mines right now. That's kind of an interesting idea for Tobi. Or rather, a PawnForTobi. Yeah, I'm really shocked Alchemy hasn't taken a natural yet. We're 8.5 minutes into this thing. The natural command center is going to try to land at the third base location and try to hide it a little bit. Cyclones are going to get rid of this pylon. Makes a lot of sense. Ah, there was a recall. And finally, the expand happening at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Now, I understand this has been a very weird game. I get it. But that expansion timing is so late. It's hurting me. It is hurting me on the inside, but I think we will survive just fine. I mean, PawnForTobi doesn't have a natural base either, thanks to the aggression, so it's not like you've just been sitting back on one base and doing nothing and not expanding. You did attack. You did kill a bunch of SCVs, particularly 16 of them, which is great. Still down 24 to 22 workers, though, which is not ideal. And yeah, Liberator, Widowmine, Cyclone here. Blue Flame is being researched for the, I want to say, 0 Hellions that have been made today. Oh, 1. There was 1 Hellion earlier. But it's dead. So future Hellions and Hellbats will have Blue Flame, which is fancy. Natural base coming in for alchemy. Well, you know, the natural base here for Tobi is already working because it was already constructed and had just flown away previously. So, at this point, what we're looking at for alchemy is probably additional gateways. If you're going to be on 2-base economy, additional gateways is going to be nice. Additional tech might be good here too. Honestly, you almost kind of want to play this like a Zerg. If it's going to be a lot of Cyclones, as that probe comes in and just gets blasted. If it's a lot of Cyclones, which honestly it's not right now. I mean, this army is 5 Cyclones out on the map. Kind of in different locations, though. Is getting a surround, right? Because the Terran player wants to kite, wants to run away from you while shooting at you. And if you can surround them and there's nowhere for them to run, they will die. Cyclones are not super tanky, only 120 HP. They will die quite quickly to most of the stuff here, honestly. Zealots for sure. Which is, again, why I like this whole Zealot combo. The problem, however, is that Liberators do exist. As well as some Widow Mines, too. So you want to watch out for that. Hallucinated Phoenix actually does make it out in time to get some scouting done. Going to check for a 3rd base. Pretty happy about that one. And yeah, Alchemy is oversaturated to be on 2 bases. And at 35 workers, considering how much he has mined out his own mate at this point. So a 3rd base, honestly, go for it. I mean, have some vision, right? If the Terran player moves out, then sure, maybe stop making probes for a little bit and make some army. But for now, with no real vision, I do like the Phoenix. See what's going on, and the answer is more Cyclones. So that hasn't been a crazy tech switch or anything. It's just there are extra Widow Mines in the mix here now. So I love the Archon play. Archon, Zealot, Oracle looking good. There we go. I got a couple Hellions in the mix. And again, if you're trying to go for a Racecar mech, which it really seems like Tobi is, what you need here is Hellions and Cyclones in about equal numbers. If you're going to try to deal with these Zealots, for sure, you want to have a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. Or even Blue Flame Hellbats could be pretty good, with Widow Mines to fire on the incoming Zealots if they come for you directly, which is exactly what we're seeing here. Liberators too. Where did these guys even come from? I don't know, but they are all very dead. I mean, 1 or 2 or 3 Zealots against this much Racecar mech, not happening, bro. Yeah, he's not even reactored up these factories. I mean, this isn't reactored either. That's interesting. Oh, wait, hold on. He doesn't know about reactors, perhaps. Like, none of these buildings are reactored at all. So, alright. Maybe, that would be a recommendation I'd have for PawnForTobi, is get a reactor on a couple of these factories if you're going to try to make a lot of Hellions, which he is at this moment anyway. I mean, you can't for Cyclones, you can't double pump them, but so that's what the tech lab is for. But yeah, if you're making a lot of Hellions, you can reduce the amount of buildings you need to produce them with a reactor. Also a fusion core coming in. It's probably going to be for advanced ballistics for Liberators, but it definitely could be for battlecruisers, which I'd be definitely on board with. Oh, hang on. Can you get that surround? Kind of. He's not really sure what to do. Force field accomplishes almost... Man, these force fields are just not doing very well for alchemy here today. If you're trying to trap something out, oh, that Immortal needs to be careful. Immortal's going to do a lot of damage to this composition, but also take a lot of damage from the Cyclones. Dude, this barracks could land and maybe produce a bunch of Marines and, like, get a little sneaky attack in here. There's no cannons defending this at all. That would be interesting for sure. 3rd base coming up from alchemy here at 14 minutes, which is good. Not great, but good. I know the Terran player is doing some weird stuff. I totally understand that. But sometimes the best counter to weird is just doing normal and beating them with just sheer macro. And it's 131 to 97 total supply right now in favor of the Terran player. He's got more workers. He has the bigger army. And his 3-base economy is pretty terrifying, honestly. Guardian shield up is kind of nice. Alright. So force fields do trap a couple Hellions there. The Archon's breaking through the force fields, actually, because, you know, they're massive units and they can do that. It's Colossus, Archons, Thors, and Ultralisks that can do that on the ground. Yeah, so I mean, it's good to see neither players really just kind of face smashing into the other one. So It's hard to say. Definitely Tobi would die if he did that. He doesn't want to A move into this thing. That is definitely the concept behind Cyclones, is they want to be kiting. But I don't know. Alchemy mashing in here, kind of giving the Cyclones a little bit of less space to run. I like the Liberator setup here, too. This is some nice mech. Alchemy sees this, builds a cannon underneath it, and third base is up for Alchemy. He's going to recall home with some of his army. Ooh, almost lost an Immortal there. Down to 82 HP, not where he wants to be, the mighty Immortal. He wants to be at 300 HP, including shields. Stalkers chasing the sneaky scouting barracks away. Yeah, see Immortals taking that bonus damage versus armored. They die. They die to these Cyclones if they're being outranged, which they generally can be. However, if they can get shots off on the Cyclones, they'll hit them pretty hard. Meanwhile, air weapons is coming in for Alchemy, and he is, in fact, getting a Stargate. Just one Stargate, though. I don't know exactly what for. This Stalker is going to get the barracks. Dark Shrine coming in. Alchemy does feel like he's behind, so it's time to Dark Shrine. Tobi's throwing up a fourth base at the 6 o'clock position. And yeah, Advanced Ballistics coming in on that fusion core like 5 minutes after it was finished completing for some reason. So, PawnForTobi started out kind of slow on the macro side, but he's doing all right overall here. Man, this is so much damage output. Can't quite get the Nexus without retreating for his life there is Tobi. A Void Ray. Interesting concept. I mean, Cyclones, I feel like, can still lock on a Void Ray and murder it pretty effectively. Yeah, I mean, at some point here, I feel like Alchemy just needs to go. I know there's a handful of Liberators. Okay, there's more than a handful. That's a lot of Liberators. This is, in fact, very mean out of PawnForTobi. All of a sudden, this is looking like an incredibly solid contain attempt. Ah, the force field's trapping the Cyclones in there. That's going to work. If you keep that moving, that's going to be a good way to pick off several units here. And possibly even straight up win this engagement. Hellions getting wrecked. Nothing has killed these Liberators at all. Perhaps the Void Ray can sneak across this area and wipe out all four of those quickly. But Alchemy doing the dance. He could do a hip-hop dance. Just back and forth here, trying not to be dragged into the Liberators, which is smart. Also, there's a siege tank back here, apparently. No, there's not a siege tank. Something felt like a siege tank attack. I don't know what it was. There you go. A couple Hellions getting picked out there. Army supply now ahead for Alchemy. 74 to 70 total army supply. Working on just continued Immortal production here. And where'd that Void Ray go? He made one. That Liberator trying to do stuff. Accomplishing more than it probably should have. And the Void Ray is just sitting here for Alchemy. I mean, you need to bring it over and maybe start working on these Liberators. If you go into Prismatic Alignment mode, you can probably wipe out all four of these fairly quickly, depending on the location of these Cyclones. But yeah, Tobi not spending his money well. He's sitting at 1,700 minerals and 1,700 gas, really focusing most of his efforts on the attack up front, but then he leaves everything. He only has 4 Cyclones remaining. He's lost a lot of Hellions. By that I mean 24 Hellions is a big number. Also, Blink Stalkers, with their ability to blink up to the Cyclones and focus fire them down, can be really great. But yeah, it's 80 to 60 with army supply, and suddenly Tobi not spending his money well is really coming back to bite him. He should have more than this right now, but he wasn't making stuff for some time. He's making 4 SCVs at a time to increase his lead. Man, he's got 69 workers to 59 probes. +3 attack is coming in here for the ground units for Alchemy, and no attack upgrades at all, actually, for the mech. Got an armor upgrade, which is nice, and then some other upgrades like advanced ballistics. and mag field accelerator, but either way, Liberator's setting up here at Alchemy's third base, going to take down a bunch of these probes. Cyclones running for their lives. Yeah, Liberator's so annoying. Trying to get extra stalkers in here to help this out, but eventually able to get it anyway. So 4 bases here for the Terran, 4 bases here for Alchemy. I guess actually 3rd base there. 4th base now coming up for Alchemy. Not quite done yet though, but spending money better than PawnForTobi is. But see, this is time is giving PawnForTobi a chance to make a battle cruiser and make 5 more Cyclones at a time. Yamato is being researched as well. I kind of love that, honestly. The stalker count is not great. It's 9 stalkers and a Void Ray in play for Alchemy right now. Yeah, that base goes down extremely quickly. Very, very well done indeed. Widow Mines, fire it in, catching Immortals. Very nice on, wow. Very nice Widow Mine shots there. Doing some damage, but this Immortal with 5 kills finally gets wiped out by the Cyclone, who has 1 kill. Another army sitting here for Alchemy. I mean, it's ready to move out, would be my guess, at a 64 to 61 army supply. Making 2 battlecruisers at a time. A battlecruiser operational indeed. Where is the where's the 1 battlecruiser that he's already made? Ah, I found it right in mid-jump. Mid-jump. There are 8 stalkers and a Void Ray. With +3 attack, not bad. But in these numbers, not really going to work out. Where's the Void Ray? Prismatic alignment would be pretty good here. More stalkers showing up. Oh, they're just burning through that hole on that battle cruiser for sure. PawnForTobi taking a replacement 4th base on the right side of the map. Not taking the one at the 6 o'clock, interestingly enough. And then moving up here with more Cyclones here into Alchemy's 4th base, which has no defense at all. I love that animation of the lock-on splashing against the shields there. It's so pretty. Yeah, man, look at these zealots chasing down. Oh, they got the Nexus? I didn't think they were going to get that Nexus. All right, cool. How many Cyclones have died today? It's many. It is many Cyclones. 57 Cyclones have died. It is 18,000 resources lost for Alchemy and 22,500 lost for PawnForTobi. Been a lot of dead stuff on the Terran side of things. Not really being as cost efficient with this mech as he should be. So battlecruiser present, Cyclone present. No more Hellions in the mix. They've all been killed, and there are no more on the field at all. Zealots trying to see, is there a big... No, there's a lot of SCVs transferring into this area, though. Oh, man. +3 Zealots against SCVs. All right, Orker count for Toby, not happy. We're looking at 35 SCVs now. No, 35 have gone down. He's still at 64. Okay. All right. 64, decent number. Still more than Alchemy has, especially considering, you know, this base is done and there's long distance mining happening. But it's 100 to 76 army supply. PawnForTobi pushing in again. I'd still like to see more of those Hellions and those Hellbats against these Zealots for sure. And then the Cyclones need to focus on the Stalkers, and then the Battlecruisers can clean up these Immortals. No problem at all. Do you worry sometimes you've overmade something like an Immortal? And yeah, I imagine sometimes that is the case. Yeah, I like this. See, the Battlecruisers up front, taking out the Zealots, helping take out the Immortals. The Stalkers aren't really close enough to do much. And he's actually... Oh, no! He's leaving the Battlecruisers out to dry here. That's not good. And the rest of army's running away. He didn't have enough ground army to cover the ground and give the Battlecruisers the room they needed to do their damage, or not enough Battlecruisers to clear out that ground army either. Yikes. Yeah, man. +3 Stalkers, +4 Void Rays with prismatic alignment. This counterattack looking a little bit scary. 2 Cyclones going down very quickly for PawnForTobi. He's trying to retake that 6th base, but I'm not sure if he's going to be given enough time to do so. Yeah, alchemy on the warpath. Oh, couple. Okay, that blink forward was nasty, and that's your good game. PawnForTobi taps out, and alchemy is your winner. There you go, 25 minutes on the nose. That was a good match. Well done. Well done indeed there for alchemy. That was a bit of a bloodbath in all things considered. A Nexus died. A command center went down. 74 Cyclones died. 39 Stalkers and 13 Immortals lost their lives here. 71 Zealots were destroyed on the battlefield and brought back as Stalkers later. 21 probes and 37 SCVs. And yeah, eventually Alchemy figured out where he wanted to go with this thing. It was going to be Immortal, Stalker, some Void Rays in the mix to help deal with the battlecruisers and help deal with the Liberators. I like that quite a bit. But yeah, anytime you end a game with 132 supply, like it wasn't necessarily clean. It was definitely very scrappy, which are sometimes, you know, some of the funnest games to win as long as you win. So, fantastic game there from Alchemy. PawnForTobi, decent job expanding, I think, throughout the game overall. Alchemy struggled with that for sure. If you have the better economy faster, probably win this game a little bit faster. But you know what? If you got the win, hard to critique too much there. Very nice. Resources lost, 29,000 for PawnForTobi, 23,000 for Alchemy. The upgrades were better. That +3 attack and +1 armor, plus the +1 air weapons is going to be better than the +1 vehicle and a +3 armor that PawnForTobi was rolling with. It's going to scale better. But yeah, fun stuff. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a MidRank Madness. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.